Okay, now we are live on YouTube. Facebook. ஆமா. இப்போ Facebook ப்ளஸ் யூடியூப் ரெண்டுலையுமே வந்து ஸ்ட்ரீமிங் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
Are you able to hear me and see me?
வாங்க நிஷா மேடம். Yeah, we are able to hear
Yeah.
you and see you.
And hear you. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
I'm தாமரைங்க. வணக்கம் மனுஷா.
Hi. வணக்கம் வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம். அவங்க திரு செந்தில் இருக்காங்க. அவங்க தான் கமிட்டி லீட், ஃபெட்னா ஸ்பெஷல் நீட் கமிட்டி லீடு.
Okay.
செந்தில், and we have a lot of people joining.
Okay.
Wait for
it's not a தமிழ் குரூப்பா இல்ல மிக்ஸ்ட் குரூப்பா?
இல்ல நீங்க இங்கிலீஷ்லயே பேசுங்க. ஏன்னா மிக்ஸ்ட் குரூப் தான். So we are going out of the லாங்குவேஜ் பேரியர். ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் இதுல இருப்பாங்க இல்லையா? ஸோ அதனால நார்மலா நாங்க தமிழ்ல தான் கண்டக்ட் பண்ணுவோம். பட் ஸ்பெஷல் நீடுன்றதுனால நாங்க மற்ற லாங்குவேஜஸ்லயும் கன்சிடர் பண்ணணும்ன்றதுனால நீங்க இங்கிலீஷ்லயே பேசுங்க.
சரி, ஓகே. தேங்க்ஸ். அவரு ஸ்பெஷல் நீட்ஸ் கமிட்டி அப்படின்னா லைக் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்து செய்றீங்களா இல்லனா அவங்க வந்து
வாலண்டியர் பேஸ் தான் அது. we are all volunteers.
ஓகே. சோ டீச்சர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அந்த மாதிரி யாரும் இல்ல?
மோஸ்ட்லி பேரண்ட்ஸ் தான் எங்க கமிட்டில இருக்காங்க நிறைய பேரு. ஆஃப் கோர்ஸ் சில பேர் மெடிக்கல் ப்ரொஃபஷன்ல இருந்து இருக்காங்க.
ஓகே.
ஆனா இப்ப நாங்க வந்து we are reaching out to everyone through Facebook. இப்போ வந்து இது வந்து ஸ்டீம் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு Facebook and YouTube எல்லாத்துலயுமே. So anyone can watch from any part of the world.
ஓகே.
அதே மாதிரி நாங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து क्वेश्चंस இருந்ததுன்னா அவங்கள சாட்ல போட சொல்ல போறோம். If at all உங்களால முடியலன்னா end of the sessionல we can we reach out to parents through email or something.
Yes, that's what அதுதான் நான் நினைச்சேன். ஏன்னா I think சரியா பிளான் பண்ணல நினைக்கிறேன். In my mind I always thought it is at 10 o'clock for some vague reason. So திடீர்னு 11:30 ஐயோ நம்ம இது பண்ணலையே அப்படின்னு, அதனால தான் சீக்கிரமா போக வேண்டியது இருக்கு. வேற ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. பட் questions வந்து even otherwise even for anything reach out பண்ணனும்னா உங்க மூலமா இருந்தது அப்படின்னா it is a little more easier for me. அவ்வளவுதான். நீங்க வந்து ஒரு 4-5 questions இருக்கு, இவங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் இத கேக்குறாங்க, அது even one question இருந்தா கூட
okay. Just want to let you know we are live streaming right now, so just want to let you know. So just keep.
Oh, it's live. Oh yeah. So yeah,
it's getting recorded on the YouTube and Facebook also. So.
Oh, okay. I mean they can. So should I?
No, you can wait for a few. I just wanted to give a note, let you know about that. So that's.
Oh, got you. Then I mean let me switch off the video. You guys when you start and introduce me, then I will probably switch it on and come back.
Mute போட்டுக்கோங்க.
Mute and video. Okay, thanks. I'll just join back.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கங்க. ஒரு ஃபியூ மினிட்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ணலாம். எல்லாரும் இணைஞ்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க லைன்ல. நம்ம 11:30க்கு ஈஸ்டர்ன் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் டைம்ல ஆரம்பிக்கணும். இப்ப லைவா போயிட்டுருக்கு. யூடியூப் மற்றும் முகநூல்ல. ஒரு ஃபியூ மினிட்ஸ்ல ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம்.
Yeah.
வணக்கம்.
வணக்கங்க. அசோகன் நினைஞ்சிருக்கேன்.
வணக்கம்.
வாங்க அசோக.
வணக்கங்க.
நான் வந்து
ஒரு 2-3 மணித்துளிகள் கொடுங்க. பையனை ரெடி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அதனால கொஞ்சம் தாமதமா வரேன் ஒளியில.
நம்ம லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம்ல இருக்கோம் ஆல்ரெடி. இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு
சரி.
யூடியூப் அண்ட் ஃபேஸ்புக் ஆல்சோ ஜஸ்ட் as a
அருமை,
caution.
அருமை. யா ஒளியில சொல்லுங்க.
செந்தில்
அஹ்,
செந்தில் வேலன்.
வணக்கம் அக்கா, வாங்க.
எனக்கு அந்த லிங்கை வந்து இமெயிலுக்கு அனுப்புறீங்களா? I'm unable to get it.
ஓ, ஓகே ஓகே. இமெயில் செக் பண்ணுங்க அக்கா. மீனா அனுப்பிச்சிட்டாப்ல உங்களுக்கு.
இல்ல வந்துட்டேன். நான் முதல்ல வந்துட்டேன். Okay.
இன்னொரு 5 minutes வெயிட் பண்ணுவோம். and then we can install. 5-10 minutes வெயிட் பண்ணலாம்.
I know, but I'm on video already, so like minus.
Please mute your microphones, please.
இது வால்யூம்
Vanakkam. It is 11:35, about 5 minutes beyond our scheduled time. I think we have enough participants to start the meeting. Again, welcome everyone. I'm Senthil Dhanapalan. I welcome everyone on behalf of the FETNA Special Needs Committee. I'm the chair of the committee for the 22-24 term. The mission of the committee is to help children and adults with special needs and their parents and caregivers in the North American Tamil community. But we are not restricted to the Tamil community. On behalf of the committee, I extend a very warm welcome to those from other communities.
Connect ஆயிடுது better okay.
Can you
சரி சரி இல்ல ஜஸ்ட் வைஷ்ணவி என்ன சொல்றா அவ ஸ்கூல்
நீங்க can you please keep yourself on mute, please? Unless otherwise you are talking, please.
Yeah, please keep it on. Thank you. And on behalf of the committee, I extend a very warm welcome to those from the other communities and organizations. And next, I will quickly introduce the Special Needs Committee. This is a Special Needs Committee for 2022-24 term, and I am the chair of the committee, Senthil Velan Dhanapalan. And we have two vice chairs, Dr. Saravanan Ramalingam and Asokan Tangaraju. And our advisor is Mrs. Pushparani Williams, a very respected and accomplished person. And she is a founding committee chair, and she is our guiding light, for this committee also. We depend a lot on her for the guidance and how we run this committee. She is our guiding light. And we have many members who are, we are thankful for their precious time and effort. Chandamari Prabhakar, who was instrumental in organizing today's event, and Apu Ratnaswamy, John Brito, Magesh Babu, Mahendran Periyaswamy, Meena Sundar, Meena Kali Perumal, Mahendran Sundar Raj, Ravindran George, Anu Seshadri, and Usha Krishnakumar. It's a mix of parents who have special needs kids, like myself and my wife, And there are other people who want to help a worthy cause. And we are very thankful for all the precious time and effort from all the members of this committee. And today we have two wonderful speakers, Mrs. Anusha and Mrs. Vaishnavi Kalyanaragavan. They will talk about managing behavioral issues of special needs children at home. Akka Pushparani Akka will provide more introduction on the program today. And on behalf of the Special Needs Committee, I want to wholeheartedly thank FETNA for providing us a platform. And I'll give you the brief overview of the agenda for today's program. First, I'm completing my introduction to Special Needs Committee. Then I'll invite Pushparani Akka to introduce the session. Then Thamari will introduce the speakers and she will run the session which is titled Managing Behavioral Issues. And then we have a brief question and answer session. And then there'll be a vote of thanks and conclusion. Welcome everyone again. I hope today's program is very useful. And I invite Pushparani Akka to come online and introduce the program today. Pangaka. இங்க மியூட்ல இருக்கீங்கக்கா நீங்க.
மன்னிக்க வேணும். வணக்கம், நன்றி செந்தில்வேலன். In the special needs, I think I'll speak in English because we may have non-Tamil speaking folks. And also, one of the reasons we do this in English is the behaviors, in the interventions and all of that. School, we are dealing with English. Even implementing the behavior plan is pretty much done in English. And in the community, school, everywhere. So because of that reason, this particular committee in FETNA, we do it in English. So as a parent and an advocate, and in both in personal and professional life, I have worked with children with autism and special healthcare needs and disabilities. Behavior is one of the most important topic of our lives, because it is the behavior that usually gives us the signal for parents as well as professionals. There is our children are not typical compared to the typical children around us, the siblings, the community. So as a parent of twin daughters with autism, with complex self-injurious behaviors, and other social skills, and as you all know, social skills and communication are the two signs also of children with autism and other related disorders, autism spectrum disorders. So even though we say behavior is a form of communication, it is beyond that. So that is the hardest part for parents and families and community and professionals to help children to communicate and to manage their daily lives. So in my case, I'm trying to, since there are professionals who will be talking about it, how to manage the behaviors, and as a parent, let me give you the parent perspective. It was the most difficult to handle. Social skills, communication, we were able to do a lot of strategies from our common sense, our knowledge. But for behavioral intervention, we had to really reach out to behavior therapists. We are blessed to be, I live in Maryland. We are blessed to be in Maryland where there's Kennedy Creek Institute. So our children were able to go through a behavioral inpatient program as well as outpatient programs to come up with behavior plans. So as we are implementing these behavior plans, we parents, we go through a lot of challenges. Like when we are they may be doing very well at school, or there's a different complex of behaviors at home, or they behave differently in the community. It was challenging as parents. So we had to first gain confidence. We can do it. As we are learning along with our children, with our professionals, but we have to have the confidence that we can do it when we, even at home, school, professional environment, or in the community. And one of the challenges is all of us have to work together. It is a team effort. It's not just parents, siblings. It is a team effort that we had to rely on. And also I had to advocate in order to get the professional help. The insurance companies were not paying about 25 years ago when my children were going through these behavioral intervention programs, the behavior plans. So we had to advocate. I personally had to advocate both statewide and federally to have programs so we could have professional qualified behavior therapists work with us. So one of them was autism waiver, the Medicaid waiver, where the children can get qualified and they get mandated that it becomes like an entitlement for them under the Medicaid insurance, along with their private health insurance, they could have the services. There was one of the services that really helped me to manage my daughter's behaviors was through therapists called therapeutic behavioral services. Every state, every county has different services, and we have to tap into all of them as soon as possible. It is challenging. Parents are challenged more than anybody else trying to handle help our children to manage their behaviors. In my case, very, very complex, severe, self-injurious behaviors. One of the twin, she was so much of self-injurious behaviors, she detached both retinas. That means she is one eye completely blind, one partially blind. That's because of and it was not easy to recognize until they were tested, because they are constantly, because of the sensory issues, you cannot have helmet, you cannot restrain them so much. So it is very challenging. And another thing that when we are implementing these behavior plans, when we are in the community does not understand what we are trying to do. So we are judged. So we were, Kennedy Krieger, we used to have a little card that says, if you are troubled by the behavior of my child, we are going through a behavior plan. If you have any questions, please contact Kennedy Krieger Center. So that's, we had to, and at times when like I would tell my daughters, if somebody's staring at us or judging us, we are disturbing others. And we have to do a lot of strategies. And then at one point, one of my friends, she was bold enough to tell her son, the lady with the red sweater is looking at you and she's bothered by your behavior. Then because she didn't want the parent to be concentrated another community, the shopping mall. So she had to, in order to tell her not to pay attention, she had to say it. So we have to be bold at times. And managing the behaviors is not easy. But with the support of the professionals and the knowledge and the community, and as long as we implement it, not just school, not just community, in the home, even though the behaviors may be different, we have to work together. And this is something that is going to be there lifelong. But through the therapies and the knowledge, we are able to manage. And one of my daughter who's passed away, and the other twin, I had her over this weekend. It is extremely challenging. But because we have the tools, we have the techniques now, we have educated ourselves, empowered ourselves to manage the behaviors and keep them happy and enjoy their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Akka. Thanks for having an intro about how important it is to have this kind of help for us, for parents and caretakers. Now let's go directly to the speakers now. First, we have Mrs. Anusha. She's in Charlotte now. Actually, she's from Chennai, and she's started working in IT industry in 2009. Then she resigned her job and she got her Montessori certification, and she was working as a kindergarten teacher from 2011 to 2016. Then when she moved to Charlotte, she joined UNC Charlotte and took a program of special education, and she completed her master's degree in special education. Not only that, after that, she has added 5 more courses on master's and obtained board certified behavioral analyst certification. She has a lot of work experience and volunteering hours combined in the classrooms. In 2019, she was working as a special education teacher in a school called Metro, which is a separate school for special needs kids. For this schools particularly, they help for the kids with the severe and profound disabilities who cannot succeed in the least restrictive environment. We are so happy to have Mrs. Anusha here as our speaker. Thanks for her for accepting our invitation. And Mrs. Anusha, you can start your speech now. And one request for all the attendees, please mute your speakers when speakers are speaking. And also, if you have any questions, we have a separate question session at the end of the session after the speakers are done with their speech. You can contact us anytime, or FETNA. We will reach out to you if you need any help. So I request all the attendees to mute your speakers so that we can hear clearly what the speakers say. Thank you. Anusha, can you start your speech?
Hi, I'm Anusha, and I'm working as a behavior analyst in a small company here in Charlotte. Thanks to Mrs. Pushparani, who gave you all a very good introduction about how difficult life can get when you have kids with special needs. So I am kind of assuming most of the kids that you're concerned about. I'm not too sure all of your kids, like all the participants of this program here, have kids with special needs. I'm just going to assume that either you have special need kids, or I'm going to assume that you have other people you are concerned about have special need kids. So special needs, when we think about it, we only accept autism as a special need category. There are many different other kinds of categories that combine with autism. Autism itself is very unique, and then if other comorbidities join it, it is going to make your kids' life and your lives even more difficult. So when we talk about autism, they are likely to have social deficit, which means they will be either too close to you or too away from you. They are going to have sensory deficit. It can affect any one of the senses. If your next neighbor has a kid with autism who has loudness deficit, probably your kid will have smell deficit, which means you have no idea of understanding what smell triggers the kid. And another thing that we most commonly see, which cannot be hidden, is a stereotypical behavior. This behavior is what is like the most challenging of all, because if you take your kid outside, if you're taking your child outside to a park or to a other place, depending upon how varied or how deep into the spectrum you are, this behavior will make them look totally atypical. Otherwise, autism kids will not have any muscular difficulties. Very few will have. I'm not saying they will not. It gets added on. But this is one. It is repetitive. They keep flapping, they keep moving, they keep humming, they keep disrupting. Whenever you talk, this is what will set them aside. Otherwise, oh, your kid looks normal. Once they start moving their stereotypical behavior, oh, and then you will have all their stars with stares. The first thing is you are the one who is embarrassed, which as Mrs. Pushparani said, you have no right to be. You don't have to be embarrassed at all. So another thing is autism varies, right? Hey, I'm having stomachache, and I think I'm having constipation, or I think I'm having this. Have tea, have lime tea, that is going to cure you. My kid also has autism. Oh yeah, my kid also has. So do this. No, do not ever. Being the same, sailing in the same boat, do not assume your kid will be the same as the other kid, but IEP will be similar. necessities, which all place you can go to, speech, you have to go to speech, all those could be similar. That kind of help you should be able to provide to the next kin, or some parent who is facing similar issues like this. But other than that, every kid with an autism is unique. So I also had I'm unable to share my screen. Will somebody allow me to share the screen, or I can email it to you?
Yeah, Mr. Senthil is trying that. Mr. Senthil. Give like a couple of minutes. Give like 1 more minute, please.
Okay, got you. No problem.
Yeah.
So
I made you, Miss Anusha, I made you a co-host now.
oh, okay. Let me try.
You made her a host, Senthil.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's coming.
That's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
So So this is what I was talking to you about, all the symptoms. Always go to a doctor. Don't assume, oh, my son has all these symptoms, and then don't decide that your kid has autism based on this. So this is what I was trying to explain about behavior. Behavior is broken down into 3 different things. So let's start with some examples. Imagine, do not imagine your atypical children right now. Imagine yourself, or imagine about any other typical kid that you have come across. The kid, when the kid is about 6 months old, the kid cries. And what does the mother do? The mother takes the baby, holds. If the kid is still does not stop crying, she tries to feed. And if the kid is still not crying, she tries to give something else, like what, gripe water. We don't give gripe water. I think we have changed to Himalayan Bonison or something like that. And I am sure that is about 17 years or 18 years back. Now probably there is something else that is being given, so that the kid does not like colic, or the kid is not feeling uncomfortable, right? So break it down. What happens before the kid is probably it's time, or probably something fell, or something, it is internal. If the kid is hungry, it's internal, probably it's feeling awkward. And then what happens? The kid cries. And what do you do is a consequence. Every behavior, every unit of behavior is divided into an antecedent, what triggers a behavior, what the kid does, and how do people around the behavior respond to the child. The consequence and the antecedent, they both go hand in hand, which increases the behavior of the child. So without you realizing, you would have done something, or you would not have even done something, the child would have interpreted it differently. If the child is unable to see, and you keep saying something with your hand, or the child is not able to interpret your emotion, so you're saying it from a distance, no, I'm just coming, but the child does not listen, the child's behavior is going to keep going up. So it might have happened like by mistake. And some of us, what do we do is, let it stop. Obviously, you have every right to feel that. Do not feel embarrassed to do that. I just wanted to stop. I really just wanted to stop. So what do? Okay, fine. You want iPad? Take the iPad, go. Oh, you want this chocolate? Take the chocolate and go. Just you may not be exaggerating it like how I'm doing it, but even the simplest of the consequence that you did, the child would have, oh, okay, if I cry, I'm going to get that. Will they have the typical understanding, even though they are talking nicely? I have some of the kids who have been using really abusive language, and every time they use abusive language, we turn back and say, you're not supposed to do that. We think that it is negative, right? Oh, I don't like when you do this. That's what we say. But the child interprets it as, oh, if I use this, she actually turns back and she actually talks to me, and then I have an opportunity to talk back to her. Oh, awesome. So interpretations, how your child interprets is totally different from how you interpret. So I did the right thing. You really might have. Every parent knows their child the best. But the child, we cannot go into the child's mind and understand this is how the child ended up making a connection. And this is what strengthens the behavior. The consequence is what strengthens the behavior usually. So how do you target it? Before going into it, I also want to go into the next slide. And this time, this is more funnier. I want you to imagine how you fight with your spouses, okay? When you fight, you start off with a fight and something happened. Obviously, I don't know how many men are there, but then I'm going to just, go by supporting the women power, okay? So don't get offended. It's just for fun. So we fight and something happens. The husband says, oh, your mom always comes and does this. Your dad always comes and does this. You start off the fight, right? No, it always happens. Now you have no right to say what your mother did. And then there's a fight. Everything comes out. All secrets about both the parents will come out. It goes on. And within about an hour or 1.5 hours, we have other things. We may forget, we may carry on. And then 2 days later, it comes. And then again, everything comes out. So you are learning. I mean, like everything, both of us are learning. Between the husband and the wife, we are learning what makes them keep quiet. So you are willing to test, go up, increase your level up to test. What if I say will make her stop? The husband will also do the testing. What if I tell will make her stop? So this is how the behavior kind of builds. Sometimes we still start to talk, but they're not. We are very sensitive. We walk around eggshells maybe for 1 hour, and then, oh, I don't want her to fight again, so let me do this for 1 hour, or let me. So when we guys as adults, as typical adults, need about 1 hour, half an hour, 10 minutes to calm down, our autism children also need to calm down. So you give the candy, the child takes it, but the child is not calm, probably not calm. 5 minutes, and then you try and something, you go, and then again the behavior increases. So you have to know the behavior graph. So the child is calm, the trigger, the agitation. The trigger is something happens before the behavior, obviously. Something triggered the kid. Would you know? You might not. If the kid has been sitting in front of me for 20 minutes, or I'm watching the kid, and in the 7th minute, the kid, something happened, something fell down, something small thing, changed, or the kid turned this way and then suddenly started to cry. I may be able to observe, oh, okay, something happened. I might write it down. What happened? Or, the kid asked something and I did not give. That would have been the trigger. You wouldn't know. 2 days before when I said, no, the child listened, but now the child did not listen. So that is a trigger. After the trigger, the child goes into agitated status and it accelerates depending upon whether the child's need has been satisfied or the child is in pain. Have we been able to, take care of or remove the aversive stimuli? So some of the kids, probably they have migraine. As soon as you switch on the light, they start to, slowly increase. And then, naturally just switch on.
Yes, sir.
No. So Pramila, the person who has joined with the name of Pramila, could you please put your phone on mute, please, if you don't mind? Thank you.
Okay. So the behavior kind of keeps escalating. So I will just explain one thing, or rather I'll explain one behavior event. So this one of my previous client loves to use iPads. So the before we started with the client used to get about 2 until about 3 o'clock to 5 or something like that. The kid had uninterrupted iPad time. When we started going to the client, the client was like very reluctant to put it down. So we will keep the iPad separately. We will play with the child and then we will give the iPad. But somehow the child was like, no, when this person comes, this is what is happening. So he starts to throw anything at us. And then it keeps escalating. So again, we go into, okay, I'll give you the iPad. So the kid has learned that, as long as the child is throwing things away, we are not going to take away the iPad. So we're like, okay, anyway, we've given the iPad. The child is already having the iPad. And then after 5 minutes, I go and ask, hey, can you tell me what your birth date is? the child starts to throw again. I am actually not even taking the iPad out. I am only asking a question to the child. I said, okay, you want some more break? I understand. I'm going to go and do my work. So I sit, I observe, I time, I go after 5 more minutes. And then I'm like, hey, what is this? And then he again throws things. And this time it's like, for the third time or the fourth time, every 5 minutes, I go and ask him, this kid, keeps throwing at things at me. And I'm not even taking the iPad. I'm just saying, hey, come, I'm going to just sit and play with you. The child is not interested. That child keeps throwing it. And then we had to terminate the session. We had to go away. Next day, instead of going every 5 minutes, we never went to the child. We just sit somewhere else and then, hey, you okay? I'm just going to do some work. Anything you want, you're going to ask me, right? We started to just, keep your... So only then we realized that the child escalated, but the child never de-escalated. So one behavior, he just threw about 15 times in 1 hour. Might not have. So you should know to see the behavior as a pattern. And the child also throws, the child is also abusive, this is what we call as a topography. If most of you have already been speaking to an ABA, you will understand what a topography is and what a function is. The function of the behavior is, why is this kid behaving like this? Topography can involve anything. We just have to know if everything belongs to the same function, feeds into the same function. Like the kid is throwing, the kid is, hitting himself. Should we see this as two different? I want only the hitting to stop. The throwing is okay. No, we are targeting the whole topography together. So sometimes, since I'm not like, interacting, I am not too sure if people have been clear. So I'm like jumping between 1 to 1. So in case you need any additional clarification for any specific thing, I will be monitoring the chat. Oops, just want to monitor it. Yeah, I can monitor the chat. If you have any specific questions or repeat anything, please let me know through the chat. So when we talk about a behavior, it starts, the child is calm, but until the child comes down to being calm again, it is all one behavior, probably all be like one feeding incident. So even though the child uses bad language, the child is hitting themselves, or the child is throwing and hitting the others, the child is pinching, the child is scribbling, the child is eloping, we have to see if everything is one incident requiring one item or requiring 2 different items. So if the child learns that if I run away, she's going to give me iPad. Oh yeah, so if whatever I want, I can just run away. We have to break that cycle. So how do you manage? If you understand the peak, it will help you manage a lot better way. Will behavior wise, not all children with autism will necessarily have behavior, but it is difficult for us to teach a kid with autism in one shot. The child might be able to remember words, etc., immediately, but since they have the social awkwardness, it will be difficult for them to learn behaviors right off the bat. Like, one rule. I tell the rule and then the child should listen. That's not going to happen. Is all challenges challenging behavior? Yes, they will look at it like that. Every behavior will be looked at it as a challenging behavior, but then there is a difference between when the behavior is becoming dangerous. So
Yes, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. Whoever has joined by the name Kavita, could you please mute your phone? Thank you. Please continue.
So how do you manage it at home? First thing is, have a perspective, look outside and decide if the child actually has de-escalated, and then go. The second thing is, when the child is at the peak, the yellow or the most, the red and the yellow mix, the child is already at the peak, the child is already screaming. Please do not try to teach anything to your children when the child is at that age, that level. It is okay. Just ensure safety, walk away, and do not smile or do, hey, I'm going away. No, do not have to say anything, but just go away, wait. But ensure safety. You can restrain, only the parents can restrain, others will not come to help. It's not a right thing to do. So nobody will come and help or hold unless and until you know or they are trained. So if they don't come and help you, don't get offended. If you want them to help, ask for help, how to hold, where to hold. You have to give necessarily all the instructions. So make sure there is nothing in the environment that they will get injured with. So contain the environment, make it safe for you and for the kid, for both of them. But do not try to teach anything. I told you, you're not supposed to do this. No, the child is already peaking. Do not try at that point of time. When the behavior de-escalates is when they will be able to even understand. That is probably your teaching moment. Your in this graph, the green areas are your teaching moments, not anything else. Your trigger and agitation is the area what we call as precursors. This will, I can share this graph with you. You can have it and watch out, like, ask your spouse to handle it, you watch out, or you handle it, ask your spouse to make notes, and then you can sit through and identify which was the trigger, which was the agitation. What we usually say for worse behaviors, like, self-injurious or other injury kind of behavior, is we watch for we are like very like, very careful about identifying the trigger and the agitation stage. At that stage, we will introduce what is called as an antecedent, which means, oh my, like, I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy is like getting a slight upset. I don't know what happened. Okay. Hey, you okay? Oh, good job. Oh, I love it how you're sitting nicely. You want something? Can you use your words? That is what you could do during agitation. Or, hey, I'm not able to give you something what you want right now, but can you come here and then probably we will think about it. First do this, and then I will give you whatever you want. Okay, chocolate, right? But you have 2 more tasks to finish. Can you just finish 2 more tasks? If you've already asked the child to do 10 tasks, just stop. Do not increase any more tasks. Depending upon how much they can tolerate is the only thing that you should give. So these are some of the suggestions. Sometimes, this kid is like high energetic. What would I do? Okay, let's jump in the trampoline. Come, let's go. Those kind of redirection. If antecedent strategies are like, redirect them when it is brown or gray. You have to wait for the peak stage to start reducing. During the peak stage also, we suggest redirection, we suggest lots of things. But if you are able to, if you can do it in trigger and agitation itself, that's the best. That is what is going to break the link and then move them to becoming calm again. And then that is going to give them an opportunity not to learn or not to up their game every time and not to worsen the behavior. So we always suggest stage 2 and stage 3. Trigger and agitation stage is where please introduce certain things and then redirect them very nicely. Teachable moments are only in green stages. So that's when you will be breaking the link between the existing behavior and the existing consequence. So sometimes what we also do when the behavior is not as worse as that, sometimes what we also suggest is we will, okay, the behavior has happened. Now you cannot take back the behavior, but then the child wanted something and it's okay. I mean, like, the child wanted a candy and from morning I have not given. So it's not bad. It's nothing like, I don't have to, I can give. Those are situations that will go on your mind. Okay, I can give, but just because the behavior already was displayed, do not give the candy because it is okay. Always make sure the kid does something very simple for you. You want a candy, you should have just told me, right? It's okay, but then can you clap 5 times for me? Can you give me a hug? Can you ask some either the physical thing or physical task, or ask the kid to go keep this there and come, go keep this there and come, I will go bring the chocolate for you. Do not say only then I will give. Do not ever add that. But you go keep this, and I'm going to give you the chocolate. So you're actually breaking the link between the behavior that you do not want happen. You're introducing some behaviors, and you're going to give the candy, or what we call as a reinforcement, or a good thing, or a good behavior, verbal prize, high five, anything, immediately. Any behavior that you want your child to develop, you should always keep reinforcing. Yes, you're right. That's what you should do. Yes, you're right. That's what you should do. So you will be actually encouraging more and more. Oh, this is nice. So you will be encouraging more and more. So the reinforcements has to happen within like 30 seconds. Do not delay your reinforcements. This depends upon the kid. I get it. Like, if the child has level 1 autism, level 1 autism children can actually enter into a contract with you. I finish this task, you're going to give me a star, and then if I collect 50 stars, this is the level 1, the children will be able to understand. When they go to level 2, only 3 tasks, only you can give them, but then they can take, I can collect until 5 stars, and then I can wait until 5 stars and then get whatever I want to. But then level 3 is like even more tougher. We kind of, you have to reinforce immediately, and then you have to reinforce even when they're not doing anything. You might have to, have a lot more antecedent strategies in place. I hope so far it's been okay. So the next thing is like, two things that I have seen is, will ABA therapy or any other behavior therapy, I mean, like, I think there's also a teach therapy that's also existing, but thinking that your children's autism will be cured, please come into reality, because the more and more you delay facing reality, because of probably our lack of awareness when we grew up, is what we usually relate to. If you think it is because of the bad karma, no, it is not. You do not have to have self-pity. You do not have to beat yourself up. It is only because of you. No, it is not because of you. Will ABA therapy cure it? Or is it possible to cure autism? No. Face it. No, it's not going to get cured. Will you be ever free? Like, all our children, all our friends' children are, graduating, they are leaving, but my child is about 20 and still with me. Yeah, face it. Probably yes. But then, oh, my child is only 7 years old. Yeah, it is okay to feed my kid. I will, feed my kid. It's okay. No. So you have to come out of it. Please face reality. If people are not helping, oh, nobody wants to help me, so I don't want a friend. You do not want a friend who's not helping you. Actually, thank them, because you do not want to have a self-pity, go into it, go into denial. That is the worst nightmare that can happen to you or your child. That is the worst thing, that you will never be able to cross that over and then do what is required for the kid. But it is very tiring. Kids with autism, kids with ADHD, kids with anxiety, all of them have, they do not have, and if it is level 2, level 3, it's going to be combined with a communication deficit, and that's going to be even more worse for the parents. But start early. It's okay. Right now, I can still carry the child. I will still carry the child and help. Like right now, it is okay. I can still, clean up the child. I can still wipe the child. I can still do everything. Actually, no. Start off early. What other parents start late, you have to start at least 2 years before. And what other parents face, I can teach this in 2 months. You have to spend about 2 years probably to teach. Simple, the knot, simple knot. Some of the kids will have muscle tone issues along with autism that will not help them be able to button up themselves at all. But doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Fight with the OT, try as much as possible. After that, okay, fine, I will just buy t-shirts, it's okay. Then, but try at level 1, do not let go. And parents, make sure to ask for help whenever you want. Step out of the behavior. if possible, if somebody else is able to take care of the behavior, step out of the behavior, watch, review, and see what's happening, and provide appropriate changes. Take if you think you're able to, just note it down, and you might see, oh, I've been doing this, but the behavior does not decrease at all. I've been actually reacting every time x ways, but the behavior did not decrease at all. Behavior is still like 2 per day, 3 per day. Oh, so what I'm doing is not actually helping. Okay, let me change it. I will do something different and see if that is going to reduce the behavior, because that's what you want. What you do after the behavior, always link it and see. If you're not able to, write it down. You have to, because we cannot remember. You cannot remember about 50 times the behavior happened, what you did 50 times after, and what the kid did 50 times before. So write it down and look at it, and you can reach out and say, this is what I'm facing, what can be changed. And self-care, you are not do not, yes, you have to take care of your child the whole time of 18 hours when the child is awake, yes, but then doesn't mean that you should not care for yourself, because if you do not care for yourself, you're not available in your 100% to your kid, but you have to be. That's one. And never show anger. Is that possible? No, it's not possible. But I mean, like, yeah, it's not like I didn't show. When I was a teacher, it was very difficult to control your anger, right? This kid is coming constantly. Whenever I'm standing in front of the board and teaching, this kid will come. This kid was going to put he wants me to stop talking. So he will put his finger into my hand, into my mouth. Like, keep walking backward, and he knows I'm scared. So I'm stopping. So I started to just keep talking and walking. I will be taking the class while walking. And how exhausting that will that will be. Like you cannot take the class for 10 minutes, so it is reduced now to 5 minutes. Or since I'm not talking, this kid became even more aggressive, and he started to pull my hair. Like, why are you pulling my hair? Leave my hair alone. Is it going to help? No, because I am really angry. What I've learned is, when I am really angry, I do not show my anger. I calm myself down, and then I act as though I am angry. In that way, I know to look for parameters. I know I can think. I am not in a panic mood. I am not in a distress. My levels are calm, and I will be rational. So never do anything out of anger. Do not ever hit your kid. Yes, they will learn it because it's causing them pain, but it is not the right way. We do not recommend it at all. Do not beat your kids because it is easier for them to learn. Yes, it is very easier, but what will also happen is they are taking you as a role model, and they will start learning that I can beat too. The problem is, you can unlearn certain behaviors, but expecting your kids to unlearn behaviors is going to again take 2 years, and it's not going to be easy. So start early, reach out, please step outside and just watch behavior like a movie, and try to understand this is what happened. Use your charts and use your sequence. I will go through to see if there are any.
Anusha, can you wrap up in 5 more minutes?
Yes. OCD or fixation is like, it's okay. Yes, this kid used to keep like doing the same thing. If I switch off the light, the child will switch it on back, and then it just keeps going on and on.
One second, Madam Miss Anusha, could you read the question so that others will also follow?
What is the antecedent related to OCD or fixation, sir? Like, has an acute fixation for things or places. So they keep asking the same thing over and over again. They do not understand, even if you redirect. No, they will not understand just because you're saying, because they don't have that concept of time. So you can give them a task, visual task, to say, go do this and come. And sometimes what we also try to do is, you start off in 5 minutes block. So we put a picture on board. When this picture is there, you should not ask that question. So you take it after 5 minutes. Now you can ask that question. Now the child will ask. So every time the child keeps asking you, as long as that picture is there, you can point it to that picture and say, So just gesture, never ever answer, never even say, okay, go. I don't think the child does not know what to ask question for you. So the child is just interacting with you. That's all. And the interaction is like, if I talk about that, the mom is talking back. That's all the child has learned. So do not ever talk back if you think you want to break that. Just wait, point to a picture, or you can pick up a picture, or if the child is able to understand timer, you can keep the timer to see if it helps. I hope that helps. Otherwise, just email me or email them. They will be able to forward it to me. The next question is, recently moved USA, North Carolina. My family living in India. My 7-year-old, he knows mother tongue Tamil. Could I bring from India to US? Yes, it is, but then language will be an issue. Not because of anything else. They cannot certain things, but then they might have, your kid might have better. I don't know what is like, in India right now about things for autism kids. But language should not be a major concern. You should be able to still enroll them into a public school system and then get their IEP started and see how it's going. You did not tell me whoever this person is, who not
Dilip and Karthik. Yeah.
what is the level of autism. If the level of
Okay.
autism is,
Autism is 60%, ma'am. Level of autism is 60%.
oh, okay, so communication deficit is there, then you can
Yeah.
always start on pictures and things like that, and provide for a person with 60%, 60% or 75%. It also means that they may not be able to frame sentences like what we are doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in those instances, we don't place so much of demands on our children, like, you have to speak grammatically correct sentences, because it's just too much for the kid. Even the kid says, eat upama, that's more than enough. The kid wants to eat
Yeah.
upama, he's able to tell you. So that's all
Yeah.
you have to be concerned about. That can be like, here and there, you can give some translated to English and then give it to them. Or when they come here, whatever the language that, in school they are speaking, you can show pictures and convert it to this language. Language shouldn't be either way. They are trying very difficult. They're not able to communicate. So so far, if probably your child would not have been, he can understand certain things, but he hasn't expressed using Tamil words, you can always start off English here.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Anisha, are we done?
Yes. Any other question? Reach out. Do not feel pity. Do not feel bad. Do not feel embarrassed. Be very self-confident. Be confident and reach out and take care of yourself. Otherwise, you will not be able to take care of your kids. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Anusha,
Madam, don't log out yet, please.
Okay.
you have to put the host to Senthil back.
Oh, okay. Got you. Let me first stop sharing.
Yeah. And then put the host to Senthil back.
Yeah.
It's very informative. So all of the parents and with your PowerPoint presentation, it's more visually, it's more, it's understandable for us. Hope the parents have more questions. I know like a lot of people are putting in the chat. Mr. Ashokan will organize those. If you have any questions, please email us. We have put the email address in the chat. For the special need committee, we have a special email address. You can email us and ask us any questions. Since there is a time crunch, we can't have a long question and answer session, but still we were really looking forward for all the parents to come forward and ask any questions and make use of Mrs. Anusha's speech today, and she's willing to answer all your questions. So please email to us and post your questions. If at all now today, but she can answer you later in email or anything. Thank you, Anusha, so much. I know today you're so busy with guests and so many other things. Thanks for coming for today's session, and thank you so much. Now we have our next guest speaker, Mrs. Vaishnavi Kalyana Raghavan. She's going to share her experience as a mom, as a volunteer, and as a parent. Mrs. Anusha, she's also from South Carolina, and she did her MBA course. And after moving to US, she did her registered behavioral technician course in South Carolina, and currently she is working as an instructional assistant for special education classes in public school, particularly in the elementary school. She has done a lot of volunteer hours in the public school, and also she's one of our very involved volunteer in our Tamil school, Arasi Nagara Tamil Palli in Charlotte area. And she's the elementary teacher for past 2 years there. And I am proud to say at this time that maybe this is the one, this is the only one school, Tamil school, has this IEP program in our school. We also have a similar IEP program that we call as the Tamil Learning IEP program. We have a similar program in our school for kids with special needs. She's also a part of that. I'm also part of that. And today she's going to share her experience with her volunteering public school system and Tamil school system, and also as a parent. Vaishnavi, thanks for coming today. You can start your speech.
Yeah, before we go there, right? Can I request one more time? Whoever has not put on mute or whoever has joined new, could you please mute yourself? Thank you. Vaishnavi, do you have to share anything or?
No, I'm good. I'm good with it. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Fetna, for this opportunity, and I would thank Tamarai especially for giving me this opportunity to talk about my experience. So, and Anusha, and I would like to thank you as well. And you have been given a detailed insight about today's topic, and I'm sure definitely it will be helpful for many. So I am a mother of a fifth grader. So he needs additional help in socializing. So that's when everything started with me learning more about autism and everything on the whole. So I did my RBT in 2019 maybe, but I couldn't keep it active due to many reasons. So I started volunteering in various organizations for special needs. I learned more about how we deal with certain behaviors and everything, so on. And recently, I started working as an instructional assistant in a self-contained classroom where I'm learning more. Still, I'm learning more. It's not like your learning never ends. So I'm learning more about those things. So I'm here to share about my experience. So I hope it will be useful for many parents here. So, as Anusha said, it's like the behavior, it can be huge and challenging for parents. So, we as a parent, we need to be the one who, understand the behaviors and what is the reason behind the behaviors. So, first, we need to identify those behaviors, the causes for the behaviors, in which way we can move on further to help the kids. So, if we identify the causes for the behavior, it will be easy for them to replace a behavior that will stop the negative behavior in many ways. So I'm sure it cannot be done in a single day or overnight. We have many behaviors that we need to address, but I would say like we need to pick one behavior at a time which needs the immediate attention. So we need to focus more on that. That's what I did, and I'm doing currently with my students in the class. So, and as I said, we cannot stop everything, but we can teach them that certain behaviors are not appropriate in certain places. In such a way, it can fade away over a period of time. So, all I would say is like we need to be consistent. Like if certain things that need to be done, and we need to make a proper plan for that, like a routine chart or something like that. So it should be consistent. Like if you're going to follow, like for example, I would say my son was very much into numbers. Like he cannot board into a different bus. If the substitute bus comes, school bus comes, he won't get into that. So I was looking into it, what made him not to get into a different bus. So one thing that came to my mind is like, okay, he wants to follow a certain routine, and he cannot be flexible towards anything that happens over a period of time. So what I did as a mom is like, I prepared a social story kind of thing, like I did on my own. Like, he was an early reader, so it was easy for me to make him understand. Like, I did a picture social stories, like I collected pictures from the internet, and I gave a certain the sentences that he can read, so like a visual. So I make him read every day before he boards the bus. So it didn't happen soon as I believed, but eventually over a period of time he got the point, and he started being flexible in that particular point. So I would say, like, the few things, like being consistent and follow the routine, like it will be definitely helpful. And you need to as Mrs. Anusha mentioned, like you need to reinforce the positive behavior. Few behaviors might be like, I might not cover the entire topic but I'll share whatever I know. Like, behaviors might be sometimes happen during transition, or it might be during transitioning from a preferred task to a non-preferred task, or they might be sticking on to the same routine, or any such things. And sometimes the behavior might be due to getting attention, and those behaviors might be negative as well. So we need to understand what causes the behaviors, so that's very important for us. So when it is moving from a preferred to non-preferred task, maybe you can use the visuals. Like, what I use now in school is like, like my team uses in school now is like the first then behavior chart. You might find it online anywhere, or you can make on your own. Like, first the kid has to do this, and then he can move on to his preferred task. It's not like you don't have to be rigid, or you don't have to be your definitely your feelings, your emotions might, the kids will get your emotions. Like, if you feel upset over something that they're not supposed to do, definitely they'll do it more. So I would say, like, be consistent and be firm, but in a polite way. Like, tell them, okay, first you need to do this, and then you will get whatever you like. I mean, not whatever, be specific. So that will help. And the reward charts, like, for example, I created a reward chart. I mean, I would say I didn't create by myself, but I involved my son. Like, I asked him, okay, I created these things are to be done in a day, and you will be rewarded. I mean, these are the rewards that you'll get, and the rewards will be not like a big thing or something. Make it simple, like they don't get used to it. So over a period of time, I mean, most parents will have this thought, like, what if they get used to the reward, and what if the behavior gets high if they don't get that? So stick it to simple rewards, the preferred tasks, be it moving from one place to another. Like, stick it to the smallest reward as possible. And I involved my son in everything that I do. So he prepared all the reward charts for himself, and he was sure to follow those reward charts. And even at school, like, when certain things happen, when they don't want to write something, so immediately we would say, okay, if it is a writing time, they will know better. Okay, this is the writing time is going to come, and I'm not going to do it. So that's when the behavior increases. So we'll watch, like, what's really triggering them. So that's when we realized, okay, one kid doesn't like writing, so we need to do something for that. So we give ample amount of time before the writing session, and we give a countdown kind of thing, like, okay, you have 5 more minutes to complete your current task, and we are going to move to the next. We give indications for them, okay, this is going to happen. So we tell them in advance that this is going to happen, so you finish this, whatever you're going to do, in 5 minutes. And we use a lot of timers, so we use visuals and everything. And most important thing is like be on the same page with the school. Whatever they follow in the school, it'll be good if we follow the same thing at home. So in that way we can reduce a lot of behaviors, and we can make our kids to work more on certain things, like vice versa. Like if you are using some strategies at home that will help your kid to do something, please do share it with your teachers or anyone that for that matter. So it'll be you both will be on the same page. So because kids are there in the school for the most amount of time, so they'll learn more. And if we are on the same page, and it'll be really easy for us to maintain that behavior, and we make our kids to do the work that has to be done, and will regularize their behaviors as well. So and then as I said, like we need to use visuals more. I mean some parents and most of my friends, they have uh, had this concern, like what if it becomes a habit for them to use just the visuals and they might not convey whatever is needed. So what I would feel is like, for example, I'll show this visual for you. Like these are the visuals that I use sometimes. So it's like we keep asking questions showing these visuals. It's not like we just show this and we make kids do it. Like if we show this picture and we'll ask questions, what are you supposed to do now, and what is the next thing that you have to do now. So we keep asking questions and we get the answers from the kids as well. Like for example, if the kid has done something that he's not supposed to do, instead of yelling or something, showing our feelings, showing our anger to them, what if we ask them like, what could have been done, how could this have been done in a better way? So we get answers from them. So it's like more like if we keep asking them questions, maybe they'll at some point they'll get it. So not right away, they cannot do it right away, but eventually they'll get it over a period of time. So this will definitely help. And if, as I mean, Anusha, Mrs. Anusha, she shared the slide. It's very useful. As I said, like if they the behavior escalates to certain level, don't try to really go and teach them or make them do stuff that they're not ready to do. Instead, just leave them, give a space for a few minutes if it is not harmful for themselves or others, and then move on. Maybe a sensory break might be helpful for them. So and sometimes to my kids in school, I'll show them like what if we do these dance, or what if we do these yoga poses or something that they like. They'll feel this funny as a dancer pose or a cobra pose. Like they'll feel it funny, and maybe it will de-escalate their behavior for sometimes. And once they're okay with that, then we'll make them do it. But eventually at the end of the day, we'll make the kids do what they're supposed to do. The thing is, the best thing is like we give them a break. If they need 10 tasks to be done, maybe at third task, when they are done with the third task, we reward them. We tell them that like, okay, you have done a great job, like, and I'm sure you'll be doing more. So and then we'll give a break for a few minutes, and then we'll bring them back and we'll finish the rest. So it's like instead of dumping them with more work at one point, it's better if we give a break and make them understand that these are the works to be done at school. And we keep reminding them, we are if they are in school, we keep reminding them we are in school and we need to follow certain rules, like staying in line, walking in the hallway quietly. So those stuffs we need to keep reminding them in a way that before they're going to go outside or something, we need to remind them, okay, these are the things. For example, what I'll do with my son, so I have this board, so I'll write everything before he goes out to play. So I remind him like, keep your hands to yourself and make friends, be nice to others, and if you have any issues, you need to ask help with adults. So these points, I'll have this on the board and I'll make my son to read it before going out. And it's same for the kids at school. Like we have these charts, the visuals, everything. If you're angry, you don't have to hit others, you have to keep your hands to yourself. And instead, what you have to do, so we have those charts over there. So the kids keep reading them, and And they started asking, even at school now, they started asking, okay, I'm not feeling good, so I need a break. So eventually they'll get it. And over a period of time, you won't have to have these visuals at some point, and they might try to express themselves through words or through any means for that matter. So these are my few of my experiences that I've learned in a short period of time. I'm still in a learning phase, and I hope I'll learn more from all the experienced people around me. And I would like to really thank Tamarai and the FETNA for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. I know we are flooding with a lot of questions. But anyway, thanks for sharing your experience. I know we have a lot of other experience to share from us, from everyone. Mr. Ashokan will coordinate the questions that's coming in chat. If you can, I think Anusha is here. Anusha here, can you answer?
Yeah.
She's
So,
here. Ashokan, you
yeah,
can.
yeah, sure. Thank you, Tamarai. So the question is from one of the participant here. So I'll read the question. My son is 13 years old and doesn't constant verbal stimming, making loud noises, words, and sometimes sentences. We tried reinforcement, social stories, placing cards with signs to be quiet, and many non-verbal gestures, verbally telling him to be quiet, but he just drops for a minute and again starts. So Anusha, the question is to you. Could you please help to answer?
So, like I remember I showed that antecedent, behavior, and consequence. Probably whatever you're doing is only reinforcing it. It is not actually solving the purpose. When they are stimming, it could be sensory. Usually, sensory things are hard to break. It is going to take some more time. Do not let go. Do not give up hope. That's one step. That's the first step. Do not give up hope. Keep trying. Second step is, looks like from whatever you are describing here, I'm telling this without judgment. Whatever you're describing here, you're actually telling the kid, don't do this. Don't do this in various forms. In various forms. You're using a picture to say, don't do it. And you're verbally saying, don't do it. And you're showing something, a social story. We should not do it. But try to create a replacement behavior. If the child is engaged in a different set of activity, the child might reduce it. Like, when you are engaged in something, you're not able to do this, right? So the child does not know, if I stop this, what to do. That could be a reason. Maybe you tried it. See, like I said, this is just, one paragraph. So don't get offended or don't take it personally. So you are telling the child not to do something. The child is 13 years old. For a typical 13 years old, you would think, if I say don't do this, the child will find something else to do. But unfortunately, you have to go down to that level of teaching and say, hey, you could do this, this, or this. Which one do you choose to do it? That's one thing. And second thing is, we call it as an incompatible behavior. If the child is throwing stuff, we give something to the child to fold. So when the child is doing folding, the child cannot throw. Can the child fold and throw? No. So if the child is making loud noises, hey, can you read this to me? The child cannot scream, right? So if the child is not able to read, just say 1, 2, 3, 4, or if the child is capable of singing or the child is capable of blowing, hey, can you blow all this? Keep some feathers or something like that. Keep it in somewhere else, or small leaves, small papers. Keep it here. You have to blow all of it on that side. Ask the child to blow. So when you're blowing, can you stim? No. I mean, like, don't exactly ask the child to blow. You have to decide, like, it's not like a treatment, like, hey, have this medicine kind of thing. These are examples of incompatible behavior. Think about all the incompatible behaviors and then start presenting. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Mrs. Anusha. There are two more questions here. This question is from Pratibha. Which elementary schools are more inclusive in CMS? We are facing challenges. Our school cannot provide additional support due to lack of staffs. My son is high functional with level autism spectrum, attention, focus, and following directions are the major challenges. He can thrive well with reduced student ratio classrooms, any private school options for us to explore. And Thamari has already come up with an answer, Charlotte Mecklenburg School. On top of that, I would request you to help with
Which
this.
grade? I can't. Which grade did you say he is in?
The parent has not mentioned that. I think she said like elementary school.
It's still elementary. Some of the elementary schools are good, but then when you want to go into that particular elementary school, for example, if Ballantyne Elementary is good, you have to go into that zone. So we do not have a ready-made option of which Ballantyne Elementary School is good. But if he's high functioning, going in for a least restrictive environment, or rather a smaller ratio, when you ask, be very careful what you're asking for, because if you ask for a smaller ratio, they will send your child to a self-contained classroom which does not follow the same sets of curriculum, especially in CMS. In CMS, self-contained classrooms always have extended standards. Extended standards, I'm talking by my experience in CMS.
Okay.
But I'm no longer a teacher. Okay, that's one thing. And second thing is, we can guide you to ask questions, but you should be the one to actually ask. So what will happen is they will move you, if at all you get moved to a separate environment, right? Okay, this classroom has only 6. So let me, my son will do good if I move him to a smaller classroom. But find out if that smaller classroom has the same curriculum or extended curriculum. In elementary, maybe you not yet exposed to those things. So please think about the future. If your kid is doing everything that at that class your kid can do, moving into extended standard is not the right thing. Number one. Number two, extended content standards is not going to give you a diploma. It's not going to give you a graduate certification for sure. At least OCS, occupational study, it's called as course. It's called as an occupational course of study that you can move your kid to in the 9th grade or above, where you still get some kind of a diploma, but you will not lose everything. So when you say a small group, make sure what curriculum they are teaching before moving. Your kid is high functioning, and he is 13 years old. Things are going to get worse. Beware.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I'm Pratibha. My son is just turned 5, and he is in the pre-K program right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's in a gen ed classroom, but then I have challenges keeping him in the gen ed because they are saying like he's not able to follow directions without getting many prompts, attention focus, and he's in his own world basically, but he's verbal, but he talks in his own way, right? He may not answer to the contextual questions or no open-ended question. Yeah.
Echolalia, or he needs help.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I think that sometimes, gen ed teachers are not very open to talk to your easy teacher. Don't talk to your gen ed teacher at all. Whatever you want to talk to, keep your easy teacher and talk to. Sometimes they try to move. If it is worse, yes. But then at pre-K, if you move into a self-contained classroom, that's what is going to happen for forever. So when the kid, you're not even assess whether the kid is able to actually, do well in the classroom before that, deciding that the child should be in gen ed, self-contained, is a decision that has to be taken very carefully. It is not like, okay, let's have an IEP meeting. I'm going to move your kid. Don't fall for the trap.
Okay.
She has my number. You text me. I can tell you, and we can talk about it. You can vent it out to me if you want to, but do not immediately move your kid, and especially in a pre-K program, do not move your kid into a self-contained immediately. My suggestion is work it out, give ABA therapy, and then see how it goes. Yes, Ms. Pushparani is yes, ma'am.
Yes, as
Thank
a
you so
parent
much.
and a professional in the advocacy world, now my number one advice I give it to all parents. You are not the first one. Please do not try to reinvent the wheel. I always
the parents who have been there, done that, and they feel the pain. They do not want another parent to go through what they have gone through. So your best advice, if you are in your own county, there are lots of support groups, Autism Society of America, Cure Autism Now, so many other intellectual and development disabilities organizations. There are developmental organizations like the ARC of your own county, state organizations. Please join those organizations. There are parents and advocates for you. For example, I see the question, how about this school, that county? Who knows that if you are a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old mom has already done this homework and been there? They will be willing to give. A school system is not going to give it, let us know this school is good or that school. But whereas the parents who have been there, done that, they are the parents who will be able to help you, not even professionals. Now, the pediatrician does not even know that. So please, that's where you will get most of the advice about your local resources, not only school system, but your medical professionals. Who is the best developmental pediatrician? Which hospital has the best developmental pediatrician who is more specialized in autism? Who is the best child psychiatrist in this area? So that would be the best for all younger families. Even as I get support from parents who are older than my children, even to this day, because they have already been there, done that. Even though they fall into the category of adults, up to 21. Once the yellow bus stops coming, we call it all hell will break loose, because we are not entitled. Our programs, we don't have the entitlement. So that's why you need the support, not just at this young age, all throughout our lives. We need that support group. Please reach out to your own county, your own neighborhood. Get involved. Just become a member of whatever the society. They are all non-profit organizations. They are all working for the mission and vision. That's how I was fully involved in all of this. So when the services was coming up, autism waiver in Maryland, my children were the second and third to be registered, only 100 students. So you are right there. If you are not at the table, we'll be in the menu. If you need to be part and parcel of the program, and get involved, that will not only help you, but help all other children and the children in the autism spectrum disorder. Thank you.
If I may say a word, Akka is a pioneer. A lot of services we take for granted today, Akka fought for this a long time back. She's one of the pioneers. So we have a lot to thank for Akka and her generation. So thanks, Akka.
So to feed off of Mrs. Pushparani, right? So it is like what she's saying is, you do not have to go for the pictures. Ask one of them; they will give you the pictures. So ask Vaishnavi, what social story did you ask? That's exactly what you're talking about. Am I right, Mrs. Pushparani?
Yes, you don't want to reinvent the wheel and waste your time and energy trying to figure it out, because somebody, by the way, we call it autism, a fingerprint disorder. Not one child is, even identical twins who have autism do not have the same behaviors or communication skills or social skills. Every child is different. So what works for me, what therapy, if I want to take my daughter to swim with the dolphins, one twin, it will not work for the other twin. So it's all individualized, but we get a lot of common knowledge from them, and then we can focus it. But I would like to re-emphasize that what I said in the beginning, all these go through, just like you go for speech therapy evaluation, occupational therapy evaluation, please go for behavioral therapy and a behavior plan, and make sure everybody follows. And we have to be the parents have to be trained, father, mother, siblings, and the caregivers who come to work in your house, or the teaching assistants or the teachers. They all have to, they are trained by the behavior therapists and the psychologists who come up. They observe the children in different settings, and they come up with that. That had been the saving grace for managing my children's complex self-injurious and other behaviors, a behavior plan. And I highly recommend for each and every child with a behavior to have a plan that everybody follows the same plan. Thank you.
So elementary, yes, beware of your IEP, individualized plan. Think about, self-contained. When your kid is in elementary, think about whether you want your child to be, is it like so bad that the child cannot even obtain any, skills, and they have to go into self-contained, or can you incorporate some behavior strategies and keep them in self-contained classroom? That is what you have to worry about when your kid is in elementary. So I see a question about OCS. So what we start off with is, by the time your kid is 12 years old to 14 years old, start enrolling them, or start thinking about two things. OCS, occupational course of study. If your child is high functioning, if the child gets a graduate diploma, the child will still be able to work in, say, pushing carts, or keeping aisles, or good enough that they can even get into being a cashier if you have some proper strategies. So they can range from any kind of a job. So make sure do not waste it on anything else, but use it, like, do not go in for an extended content standards, which is not going to help your kid. And the second thing is, reach out to your local occasional rehabilitation. So they have something, it's called as either the respite cares or something else, but then they can provide you your kid with job coaches. Like there will be job coaches available who can train your kid to be self-sustaining if you know your kid is at that range. So OCS is again like your this one, but I mean, it's not like very difficult. They will teach about their math will be more on money, financial matters. Their English will be like, language skills will be about is your kid able to read something and pick up on it. And some of the schools also teach a little amount of can you follow the recipes, and some schools also target safety precautions, like these are chemicals that I shouldn't use. These are subjects that are covered in OCS, in occupational course of study. I think I'm talking about OCS from North Carolina. I am not too sure if it is available in any other state. It should be, but I think it may be called differently. But vocation rehabilitation is also available in every single state. Every single state has vocation rehabilitation. It's probably called differently. Think about it. By the time your kids are 14 years old, by 17 and a half, you are supposed to apply for guardianship. So be ready, reach out. At this stage, what am I supposed to be prepared with? At the next stage, what am I supposed to be prepared with? I did not see any other questions. I hope I've answered.
Yeah, so there are a couple of more questions, Mrs. Anusha. So, okay, so let me read them. There is one more question from Mr. Balaji Mahalingam.
Okay.
He's like, my son is in spectrum and has a speech delay. Got to pull words out of him for TV time or phone time as reinforcement. I don't think that would help his speech. We started with picture cards in the beginning, and now I think he's able to understand. And he has extended saying that, but at school, he's using the device for communication, which is good. But I don't know how far it would help him in the speech.
Yeah, it's very giving them a device is better, because they are able to see the pictures, and certain things that they suddenly forget to say the words, they can always say, right? So device is good. But if you still want your child to keep up with your words, whatever you're doing as a reinforcement, like pulling, please pull out words. There's nothing wrong. Keep pulling out words. It's okay. For another 10 more years, it's okay. I had a 10th grader who was like, he'll just keep pointing, and I will look at him, very calmly, and then he's like, he's getting frustrated. Then eventually I'll say, okay, can you please use words? And then he'll say, trampoline. Yeah, go. I know, go. So even when they actually, when they want to go into the bathroom, I know going to the bathroom is their right. But then when they go out, when they see a bathroom, they will go automatically, like in the sense, which is wrong, which I don't encourage, because you're so scared, you don't want your kid to walk away from you. But then bathroom is his right. Why in the house? Why would he ask? But then how do you know that he is going to ask when he goes outside, and he's not going to ask when he's inside? That depends upon the level of spectrum they're in. So generally, just, assume your kid is always, you're going to prepare your kid always for the worst. So you tell me and go into the bathroom. I know you want to go to the bathroom only in the house, but you still have to tell me and then go, please. So that he will tell the school, say bathroom and then go. Otherwise, we had this kid just ran out of the classroom, and we ran behind him, and only to know that the kid just went into the bathroom. we felt so embarrassed. The kid has every right to go into the bathroom. If the kid only knew, so we are like, okay, we try to see which direction the kid is running before holding, or that's what we had to do eventually, because the kid has a right to go to the bathroom. So it's okay. Don't feel bad about pulling words out. The device is a wonderful addition, especially all of a sudden, if your kid feels something else and then they do not know the words, you would have never given the practice. So we always fall back to it. But if you still want your kid to actually, bridge the gap, I'm sure they would have also told you. So in the device, when the kid selects water, if you click on it, it's going to repeat water. So click on it. Now you say, that will also bridge the gap for your own satisfaction, but it is going to take a long time and all, and you have extra multivitamins for yourself.
That's good. Thank you, Mrs. Anusha. So the next question is from Chandra. My son is 4 years old and we are doing ABA therapy, but BT is more like a babysitter, not working on his behavior issues. Any suggestions for ABA company which focuses on behavior issue?
Oh, that's very unethical. I could lose my license for answering that question. We are not supposed to suggest which behavior therapy company you're supposed to go and things like that. But I can tell you what you could do. Sit with your BCBA and go through all the goals. They have a plan with them. They have to either use one of the online programs, sit with them, go through what is the plan, and this is the behavior. Are you targeting? Are you not targeting? If so, how are you targeting? And then try to match it up with your BCBA. Should be coming there at least 5% of your therapy time. Like for example, if you have 3 hours a day, your BCBA should come to your house at least 1.5 hours a week. So whenever your BCBA is coming, sit with them, go through the goals that they are working on, and see. We might not know if they are just babysitting or actually acting on it. Sometimes for the behavior, what they will do is they'll just do a planned ignoring. Until the child talks, that they will not do it. And if you've just started off with therapy about 2 or 3 weeks back, or even 2 months back, sometimes it takes time for us to know the kid or interact with the kid. So pairing, or rather what we call as like, I'm going to be your kid's reinforcer. So that every time your kid sees me, the kid is going to react favorably. So to create that link, rapport, we will have at least 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon the kid. It could be that. But if you're still feeling, it's just not working out, reach out to another company. Do not go into a discharging now. Reach out and then let them, even if they come and sit taking care of your baby for 2-3 hours, you still have that time for the time being. So reach out, talk to different companies, 3 or 4 companies, shortlist them, and then you can discharge this person and then go on to that person, if that makes sense. Yes, if it may seem, for a lot of people, it does seem like a babysitter, especially your kid is like, just 4 years old. So what will happen is, I cannot teach like big things anyways. I have to teach very small things. So the goals will be very limited. But go through the goals. Somebody has asked for the phone number and the email. Most probably, Mrs. Tamre will be, sending out the information.
Yeah, I can reach out to her, so you can email us to the Special Needs Committee. There is a special email that we have posted in the chat. Please refer to the email. Please email us. We can contact Anusha later with so many other questions. And mostly Anusha and Vaishnavi, they are from Charlotte, North Carolina. So whatever they are talking is for the locals. And I'm seeing a lot of locals are here. We have a special connection group in Charlotte area. And also there is another group called We Embrace. It's from California, but they have a lot of networking, and Mrs. Meena from that group, or even Vaishnavi is one of the volunteers as a buddy program in that group. We can connect to them, and there are so many other organizations which are interlinked with each of these groups, parent groups. Mostly it's with parents and professionals in that we can connect to them. So please email us. We are thankful to speakers for having us in this busy schedule. And of course,
there are 2 questions. I think we can. There are 2 more questions. I think probably I know we are at top of the hour, but I think let's encourage these two questions, and rest of the questions we can have them send it in chat. Ms. Anusha, if you're okay, last two questions.
Some kids are keep repeating the either word or the phrase from the nursery rhymes. How to stop it? Provide an option of various other rhymes for the time being. I wouldn't suggest to stop it depending upon the age of the kid. If the kid is about 12 years or 13 years old, then you can attempt to provide a replacement behavior. But if the kid is about 6-7 years old, we do not stop it, but provide the kid a lot more rhymes, because sometimes what happens is the speech development is done only using this. Sometimes they just when you ask them a question, they might provide an answer from one of the rhymes, and we will not realize. We will think that it's actually from the they're just singing the rhymes and not answering us. But then that's one way that they develop their speech. So you do not have to completely stop it. Introduce a lot more rhymes and just try and sing with them. And the second question is, when do you suspect your child is suffering from mental illness in addition to autism? Autism is not mental illness. It is some kind of just a disorder that you have. I don't think it is branded as a mental illness. And so is ADHD. These are all conditions that the kid goes through. So first they will start off with developmental delays as early as 2.5 to 3. If your kid is not talking in sentences by the time of 3, so just assume, okay, fine, there's something else, and then start evaluation. But then sometimes when our kids, we bring them from India to here, the first option is use only one language at home. And even then, the child is not picking up language, or the child is not going socially as required, then you can take them. But it will take at least another 3-4 years from 3 years old, like at least until 6, to find out if they have other comorbidities.
Sounds good. I think there was one question, I think, from Mr. Sarvalangavan. I think he is also raised. I think he is done with the question. Okay. Yeah. Pushparani, do you have any?
Yes, the follow-up question related to when do you diagnose? Yes, autism is a neurological disorder. The autism is diagnosed by psychologists, whereas mental health disorders are diagnosed by the psychiatrist. And we do have children who are dually diagnosed. So both neurological, that means intellectual and developmental disability, and mental health or emotional health disabilities. So there are two different professionals diagnose these special healthcare needs. Thank you.
Yeah, one last question, Mrs. Anusha, please hold on 1 second. I think there is a direct question, I believe. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
So there is a question from Kala. My son is 13 years old, in 7th grade. I'm a single parent. My son attends more in general curriculum. And as my son learned a few physical parts, he tried to say them out loud. How can I handle this?
What? Come again? Can I see the question?
Okay, sure. So my son is 13 years old, in 7th grade. I'm a single parent. My son attends more in the general curriculum. And as my son learns a few physical parts, he tried to say them aloud. How can I handle this? Meaning it looks like the person is in general curriculum and is trying to learning all physical parts and then trying to say them aloud. So they're just trying to see how they can avoid this, or how can
body parts, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, got it. It's very difficult to ignore, but that's what you should do. Social story will work. If your child is in a general curriculum, for sure, the social story is going to work. So start with the social story saying, these are the parts that you can tell, and these are the parts that we should not talk about in public because it is going to make people uncomfortable, or rather saying like that, they are not going to be our friends if we say that. They will walk away if they say that. Instead, we can come back to mom and dad and talk about those parts. That is better to start since your child is 13. That's better to start now. It is. I think it will also help everybody. Just because our kids have autism, please do not do not assume they're not going to have any hormonal urges. They will have when it's not specific to boys, it's not specific to girls, they're going to have. So I was in a special education classroom. I had about all boys in my classroom. So yeah, they've not outrightly done anything inside my classroom, but then yes, they will always start. They always start. They have a full, some of them go full-fledged, some of them say I want to go to the bathroom, and then we do take them to the bathroom. We do not say do not do it in public, do not do it. We only say do not do it here. You have to go inside and do it. That's how we redirect. If you want to talk about this, go inside. Either go to the bathroom, or if it's okay with you, send them to their bedroom. But do not show it like aruvaruppu, we say, right? Like or chi, don't do it, kind of don't express that, never express that. And when your son is doing it, I know you will be embarrassed, but do not get embarrassed. Just avoid eye contact with your kid, and then you turn away. Or other times keep saying, I mean, like when he's in the public and he's saying, don't give the social story. But before you take him outside, give him the social story, say all the rules. If you want to talk about it, come and whisper in my ears. We will go inside and talk. So that is encourage that kind of a behavior. That's very tender. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know it's very, very tough. But at 14 years to 17 years, I've when I was in school, I had to, a couple of my kids were in diapers. I had to change their diapers. I had to clean them up and then make sure, they're clean. So 14 years, 15 years, we've seen that, we've done that.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Anusha. Thank you, Mrs. Anusha. I see Dr. Saru Alangovan has raised hands.
I have to go. Can I log off? Any questions, you can send it to me later. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Can I please?
Thank you, Anusha,
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much. I know you're very busy. Yeah, you can log off. I think
Thank you very much.
Host handle. So thank you so much. But anyway, we will keep in touch with you and with this committee. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thamare, I would like to follow up on the sexual behaviors. It is a very important topic for our children with autism, other special healthcare needs. But there are specialists just on this. Like I have attended workshop, sexuality and behaviors. There are just like behavior therapists, but there are therapists who focus on this behaviors, and they have lots of strategies to help for parents. So please, you can search in your area. Your school system should be able to help you, or as I said, the ARC, the Developmental Disabilities Organizations, the Autism Society, those organizations also, they have lots of resources how to handle, especially when you are a single parent of one single parent, either male or female, or the child is male or female. So we all face these issues. So please reach out to your resources in your own county. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Pushpanika. So there is one, I think Dr. Saru has something to say. Could you please?
Yes, thank you for this excellent program, and I appreciate all your efforts. And this is very much needed in our community, and it can be useful for very long time. So hope it is being recorded. So it's a very, very necessary program. Another thing, Anusha said, never show anger is 100% true. Never show anger to your child. I know a lot of houses being split and they come to divorce and all those things because we parents ourselves were fighting, and especially in front of the children. And that way we disrupt our house, not only with the child's, even though it is autistic, it is very sensitive. The child is very sensitive, and so we have to learn how to behave ourselves in front of the child and how to do it so we can benefit the whole family. So I am so glad she mentioned about never show anger. We have to modify our behavior and to help all of us. Thank you, Thamare, and thank you all of you for this excellent program. Thank you, Pushpa. Thank you very much.
Thank you for attending this session, Amma. Thank you so much. Yes, it is applicable to all kids, not only special need kids. I think it's applicable to all kids for showing they are very tender like a glass flower. So it's very applicable to all the kids, and we have been seeing in the schools and other environment. Ashokan, do we have any other questions?
No, I think we are done with all the questions, Tamari. Thank
Mainly,
you
we
very
are
much.
asking for the links and how to connect with each
I
other.
have already
Posted
pasted them
that
in the
in
chat.
chat,
Yeah.
and I'll also try to post this. Is everything is recorded? All the session is recorded, and we have YouTube link and Facebook link, and we have also special need committee special email. As we Senthil told in the beginning, we have a team of members who consists of like Pushparani Akka and other who are also parent and professionals in that. So you can reach out to us anytime. In that email, we are trying to connect. There are so many local organizations in each on all cities in your local cities. They have groups and formed like that. So we will try our best to connect one of you with all this. We Embrace doing a wonderful job, Mrs. Meena. She's doing a wonderful job. We were supposed to have parents from that group, but they are not available. And also we have another group here in Charlotte called Special Connections. Mrs. Shruti, and she's not able to come today, and they have a wonderful program here, and they have a WhatsApp group for all the parents. As Mrs. Anusha and Pushpa Akka told, parents are the first advocate. They have went through a lot in their life, and they can help you in so many ways, even though each state and have a different kind of this state laws and all these things, but we can connect to each other. I think if there is not that many questions, we can go for the thank you note, Shokan.
Yeah. Senthil, over to you, Senthil. Do you want to say something, or can we proceed with the thank you note?
Just want a few words. Thanks for everyone who contributed, and and all the participants. I hope it is useful for everybody, and we will continue in the future also. And Shokan, you can give a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Senthil. Thank you very much. So, thank you all. Thanks for taking your time to join today. This is one thing which we were holding for a long time to have this event, and due to certain unavoidable situations, we were unable to get that earlier, much earlier. Thank you, Senthil, for organizing this, for coming up and asking us, getting this done. Thank you very much, Mrs. Pushparani Akka, as always, being a mentor, being an advisor to this committee, and helping all of us in the committee to take this forward. Special thanks to Mrs. Senthamare for helping arranging the session. And our special thanks from all of us to Mrs. Anusha. I think she left the call, but we will definitely extend our thanks on behalf of everyone here in the call to Mrs. Anusha for her for her time.
And they cook.
Preeta, could you please put yourself on hold if you don't mind, please?
Please mute yourself, please.
Thank you. And thanks to Mrs. Vaishnavi Kalyanaragavan. Thank you very much for coming up, helping all of us here in explaining how in explaining what all tools you're using, and you yourself is an instructional assistant. Thank you. And then helping us to say how to focus on the behaviors and also the reward charts. I think most of us are all using that in our homes. And one more thing that you insisted, that to be on the same page at school and home. That's one thing which we also have to concentrate, and to use more visuals. I think that's one other good thing, visuals that will definitely help for kids who are unable to talk more words. And there was one more question about the special communication device that the kids are using. Yeah, that's one other thing which will definitely help. We have seen ourselves at home, which that's helpful for the kids. Yeah, so thank you all. Thanks for all your informational questions, and then Thank you, Mrs. Anusha and Mrs. Vaishnavi for helping us to answer. If you have any, okay, before proceeding, we have more participants from our board. Thank you, Mrs. Pamela. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you, Nanchal Petraya. Thank you very much. And then sorry if I have missed anyone. Thank you all. And if you have any further questions, as we have mentioned in multiple times in the chat, please feel free to send your questions to specialneeds@fetnar.org. And I'll keep repeating one more time. It is specialneeds@fetnar.org. And if you have any questions, please post, and then we'll try to come up with help, or we could try to answer them as well as we could. Thank you all. Thanks for all your time, and thank you very much.
Thank you. If there is any suggestion also from parents that you need any specific topic to be discussed or have a session like this, please reach out to us. Senthil Velan Dhanapalan, he's a committee chair. We can arrange any other sessions like that, similar ones like that. So it's up to the parents. If you want anything like this, please contact us. Thank you all.
And the recording links have been put up in the flyer as well, and also we have put them in the chat. So please feel free to reach out to our YouTube link as well as our Facebook and get benefited. And any as Tamari was indicating, any further topics in the future, please help us with the topics, and then we'll try to arrange a session as well as we could. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.